So recently I told a friend that I had never been on birth control and she was shocked to say the least. Also, I went to a doctor to get some blood work done, and you know, when you take one of those, you have to tell the doctor what type of medications you take so that they can interpret your blood work correctly. And I remember just talking about iron and vitamin B and vitamin D, and she was like, what about birth control? And the way she said it, it just seemed like to her it was just obvious that any woman who is able to procreate should be or is on birth control. And I was like, I've actually never been on birth control and I'm 35 years old. And she was in disbelief. Okay, you guys, she couldn't believe it, and I don't know why, because if you actually read the studies that are out there about birth control, you probably wouldn't be on it either. Okay, there are a lot of negatives that can come from, you know, taking those medications. You know, at the end of the day, these are hormones you are taking, so sometimes they can mess with your weight. Okay, I even had a friend who wanted to go on birth control, had this horrible acne come out. Okay, she would get these breaks up, and when I tell you they were horrible, she would get these huge pimples on her face, and she went everywhere. And at first she couldn't make the link between the birth control and the acne. And then one day she went to see a dermatologist, and he was like, when did it start? And she said, like, around 9 months ago. And he said, you know, can you remember, can you recall anything that happened 9 months ago that could have caused this? Because my friend had never suffered from acne her entire life, and that's when it hit her. That is when she had started taking birth control pills. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, birth control is gonna get you to have acne or it's gonna cause any problem for you, but there are actually a lot of problems that could come from, you know, being on birth control, whether it's blood clots or a lot of other things. Actually, you can just ask ChatGPT and you would be surprised at the amount of things you can get from being on birth control. But honestly, that is not the only reason why I've never been on birth control. And also, I don't have 11 children. Okay, I have one daughter, a 14 years old girl. Okay, so it's possible not to have a whole lot of kids even though you're not on birth control. Okay, but like I was saying before, it's not only because birth control are like hormone pills that I have never taken them before. I have never taken them before because I don't believe that the burden of contraception in a relationship should be on me. I mean, why does it have to be on me? Why should it be on me? I wish more women ask themselves that question, like, especially women who themselves desire a child but are together with a man who doesn't want a child. Like, I know women who will then week after week after week, month after month after month ask their partner, is it okay now? Can I stop it now? Are you ready for us to have a baby? And I'm just thinking, this is crazy. Like, your body, your choice. And I know this is a very unpopular opinion and some people are not going to agree, but I don't believe that women should have children that they are not capable or prepared to care for 100% of the time anyways. You know, anything can happen to your partner. He could pass, he could leave you, anything could happen to him. Okay, so you should never have more kids than you're prepared to care for by yourself, in my opinion anyways. But yeah, I think that's crazy. I'm not actually against, and again, I know this is a very unpopular opinion, but I'm not actually against women having baby on men. I don't believe that it should be on us to make sure that men don't become fathers. I'm sorry, if you are a grown man, if you're an adult and you don't want to become a father, that is on you. It's on you to make sure that you don't become a father. You cannot put that responsibility on anybody. I mean, you can, but then if they mess you up, that's on you. That's your own problem. Honestly, I don't feel bad for men who say like, oh my, she had a baby on me. I don't care. I mean, she didn't have a baby on you. Like, what do you mean having a baby on you? Like, did she just sneak it on you? This is crazy. Okay, you can't put your genitals inside the genitals of somebody else and then say that they trick you into becoming pregnant. That's crazy, right? If you leave your sperm anywhere, then you need to be prepared for there to be consequences. And that's on my end lame. And I wish that we live in a society where more women would understand that that is not their burden. It's not actually on them to make sure that men don't become fathers. It's not actually you who have to always be the one to be on contraception. It could be that your partner, you know, wears, let's just call it socks, okay? Because, and I actually think you should do that because, listen, there are a lot of sicknesses out there, okay? And a lot of men are not faithful, unfortunately, you know, and again, there are a lot of stuff out there. He could go outside, get something and bring it to you, you know. But if you wear a sock every time the guys get into it, you're making sure that, you know, nothing is happening to you. I really think that this is something that we have to consider going forward. Like, Again, if you want to be on contraception, if that doesn't bother you, if you feel healthy doing so, then sure, by all means do that. But if you don't want to be, you don't have to be. You don't have to be on DUI or whatever it is they call it, or the stuff that, you know, women inject in their arms. I'm sure DUI is driving under the influence. What is that thing called? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Is it called DIU? I don't know, probably. But yeah, you don't have to do any of that unless you want to. Do not let the pressure of contraception being on you. I hope that going forward, women can reclaim their bodies. The same way, you know, many women are reclaiming their bodies when it comes to motherhood. Many women are saying, we don't actually want to do this. Or many women like me are saying, hey, I'm going to be a one and done. Okay, I wish that women can also take it further and understand, even when it comes to contraception, we don't have to do this. We don't have to be the one, you know, ingesting all these hormones into our bodies that are making us, or could potentially make us sick, or gain tremendous amount of weight that, you know, later on your partner is gonna blame you for putting on anyways, or getting acne that you have to spend months and months and months and months and months healing from. Like, you don't have to do all of this. You don't have to do none of this, okay, unless you want to. So I really think that that is something that I hear more of going forward. I hope that that is a sentiment that is more shared, because I never heard anybody talking about this. Like, we need to ask this question: why is contraception on women? Why isn't there appeal for men, you know, nowadays? Like, it's been so long. There must be some form of something that can be done by the pharmaceutical industry for men to be the one bearing the burden of contraception. I know that, you know, they can snip it, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, them just having some form of contraception the way we do, that won't totally stop them from being able to be fathers, but will stop them from being able to be fathers or becoming fathers, as long as they're taking that thing. Anyways, that is something I thought about today, because I'm a weirdo, okay? I'm an overthinker. I'm somebody with ADHD. So today I thought, why not talk about this on Kelly Rowland's internet? And, you know, this is great for men too. Like, I think men being able to take, you know, their contraception on their hands is a great thing as well for them, because that is how they will avoid all these women having babies on them, like they say, and having to pay this child support that they claim are ridiculous in amounts, right? If they actually take the matter in their own hands, then they don't have to be shedding $100,000, $200,000 amount in child support, right? So I think this is great for them as well. It's not only great for us, you know, not ingesting all these hormones. It's also great for them. You know, they can then choose who is going to be the mother of their kids. They can choose who they want to procreate with, or who they're gonna procreate with, without, you know, all this going back and forth with, oh, she had this baby on my back, you told me you were on the pill, but then you were not on the pill, and yada yada yada, and blah 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 blah, and all the madness that is going on, you know, between futures and these women, and between all these men that play basketball or whatever it is they're playing and these women, right? If men can take, again, their contraception in their own hand, they are going to avoid all this going back and forth and having to move to another state where the child support payments or settlements are lower. And, you know, shout out to Khloe Kardashian's baby daddy. All of this, you know, very stressful for them too. So just be responsible and know what you're doing, so that you don't have to go through all of that. And if you do not, then again, I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for men who have to shed millions in child support for 18 years, because at the end of the day, you know, they had a choice. It was their decision. They could have chosen to, you know, exercise caution. They could have chosen to take the matter in their own hand, and they chose not to. So, like, anybody who makes a mistake or a bad decision in life, they have to deal with the consequences of that. And I don't see why they should be exempt. Like, anyways, I'm just rambling at this point, and I highly doubt anybody cares about this subject as much as I do, because, you know, I'm mental anyway. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, nonetheless, if it happens to come on your For You page, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know, what do you think about this subject, okay? Do you think that it is fair that for hundreds of years now, the burden of contraception has been on women? Isn't it time that it change, okay? Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, because clearly I have very insightful conversation subjects, okay? Bye, girls. Thanks for watching. Mwah.